Welcome back to another episode of Genius Days. Today we're back with another episode, and we're talking about the formidable soul, exuding your masculinity. It's all about masculine presence, masculine purpose, and really being able to stand on your own 2 feet as a masculine man on this planet. So, first and foremost, you'll know we have some disclaimers. 18 and above, don't break the rules or the laws of the land that you're in. Obviously, don't share personal stories, and also, just be a genuine person. Like, don't like take this advice and then like, you know, not give us credit or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's get started, man. So, interesting that I said the word man because we had that word man at the end of stuff, right? What's up? What's happening, man? But what does that word man really mean? Does that mean that we just simply have genitals, that we have a penis? No, a man has become an archetype by itself over the many years and years on this planet. What it means to be a man is slowly changing and morphing with each generation that comes, with each millennia that shows up, right? And so I'm sure that a lot of people, they get triggered or have been triggered when someone says be a man, because children don't really know the actual definition of what that is or what it means to even hear that or change, right? So when someone's saying be a man, which is society's kind of general solution to men's mental health problems, uh, it doesn't give them a process to follow, right? We have these pseudo initiations a lot of times, like fraternities or, you know, uh, these different kind of rituals that don't really embrace the same kind of initiation in manhood that tribes had back in the day, right? Where they'd have to like, hunt by themselves or maybe captivate themselves in isolation to do something very difficult and these kinds of things. So nowadays I believe we need to recreate or bring back initiation and ritual into our day and age so that we become living traditions of manhood and choose to redefine it towards our own archetypes and our own strength using discipline and different values. Different values, I think, are also very important, as well as being directive, being focused, being laser sharp, and moving with that energy in mind. But yeah, when I ask you guys to define man, what comes up for you? That's how we're going to start.
Well, how I would define man is in two ways. One, biologically, and two, as a race, as a, not ethnicity, as an actual biological race, like mankind. Hell, there's even maybe a third, maybe there's something spiritual I'm skipping, but that would be it. Ivan, what about you?
Man is half. Woman is half. And you see, if you want to learn how to become more masculine, we must look at what the opposite is. And once you see the opposite, you know the truth about the other side. If I say rich, poor is the other side. If I say fat, skinny is the other side. And so masculine energy are both opposites. So when it comes to exuding masculinity, it's very simple. It's not the sexy shit, okay? It's not the sexy shit. The sexy shit, that's gay. Right? Now I'm not saying that you can't like dress like a little bit sexy, like, you got your shirt a little bit open or whatever, right? But like, I was looking at it, like all these like perfume models and Calvin Klein models and stuff like that, they are, the way that they're posing is not masculine. right? But it is sexy. It's a sexy pose. You know, you're gonna see that they're trying to be sexy, right? And so that masculinity is not masculinity is more of a strength, right? Just a solidness, right? It's almost like the more skin you want to show for the purpose of being seen attractive, that's like, it's kind of like, you don't got to do that, because that's not how it really works. It's literally more to do with your presence, coming down to how you feel inside of you, that is going to attract the whole entire world. And it is going to attract that whole entire world because the positive, the masculine, positively charged, energetically speaking, is just going to attract the negative, negatively charged, feminine, with ease. And so the more masculine you are, the easier it becomes, and the less masculine you are, the harder it is. Because it is a dial. It is a ever expanding in each direction. And so when we take on the idea of what is masculinity and what it means to be a man with masculinity, we uncover that to be a man, masculinity is important, because masculinity exists with or without us being men. The energy of that creation, the energy of that force exists whether we are capable of reaching it or not. Now, I want to gather my thoughts before I say anything else, so I would like to pass on the mic to someone else.
So when it comes to man, like the way you said it, and be a man, first thing that comes up to my mind, it's a very negative thing. I don't it's in my deep in my condition and belief. It's like, damn, someone tells you to be a man. It's like they're telling me you're not a man. And there's very I don't have many references at all to what a man looks like. Sure, I respect my dad and a bunch of other people, but god damn it, there's very few. Obviously, everyone here is a man. AZD is a man that I look up to. I look up to you guys, but besides anywhere else, there isn't anywhere. Like even the new show, the anime show that came out, the What If, there's not one single man up there that I see admirable. Not what actually, I think the whole show they make man look bad. So it's like, god damn, man. When it comes to the word man, it's not clear. It's not clear, and to follow the steps is even harder. But yeah, that's what I got, man.
Right. So you're saying it's like a loaded term in a sense, where it kind of brings up the fact that they're challenging your masculinity in a sense. And yeah. Yeah, man. Also, it's like we didn't have many positive male role models growing up. It's like nobody kind of exemplifies or embodies all the aspects that we want in an ideal person, right? There is this idea in, Da Vinci drew this picture of the Vitruvian man, which was supposedly the ideal, like male kind of body archetype, whatever it is, with the exact, mathematical coordinates and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, when it really boils down to it, I think being a real man is in the definition of that statement. So it's like to be real, right? Just to be real, like not put on this masculinity, taking off the mask, in fact. And, I wonder about this idea of stubbornness versus persistence. And I've really been trying to differentiate, between the two, because as a coach, I kind of see a benefit in being persistent towards your goals or towards, a certain outcome. And I think it comes down to effectiveness, right? Because to be stubborn, like your results or character isn't actually healing you or isn't actually making you better, but you're still sticking to your word and you're still like kind of, trying to be like a rock. But hey, what if being a rock isn't helping you in that moment? I think that's stubborn. And I think persistence is like you have an authority on your values and you're sticking to your principles. And it's more of like a moving forward in the direction of what you prefer. So what do you guys think of that and the kind of differentiation between those two words?
So the first thing that comes up is stubbornness would usually relate to, I'm a rock. And persistence would usually be associated with water. It's like the small drops that over time breaks the rock. It's like how you would do Chinese water torture. You would lay the guy right there, tie him up, and let water just drop on his face. And then he goes crazy. Or the water will kill him in 2 weeks. So what can we learn from that besides that being a very fucked up way to die? Being stubborn means you're not willing to change your ways, even if it means improvement. And to be persistent also, I'm assuming, means being adaptable. You haven't given up on your goal. It just means you switch it up. It's like a fight. If I can't take you down, I'll try something else. And welcome to the Genius Stage, Mr. William. Now, yeah, those are my thoughts to me. Those are truly my thoughts. Oh yeah, which reminds me, I like what Gil said on, be a man. Man being almost a trigger word these days. I agree. But it also is kind of funny because it reminded me of Russell Peters' Chinese impression, What if those jokes, because it's also a very silly trigger. Because everyone has a relative relationship to, the whole quote of being a man. And I think, I don't know who said it, either Sumit or someone else, the masculinity is just a mask we wear. But to be truly a man is to be truly you. What do you want and who do you think you are? Gil Estrella says, stubborn is being closed. Persistence is more open, individual looking for a solution, an answer, one that does not give up. True. Sumit, any thoughts on that? Or Ivan?
Of course, masculinity is only an aspect of a well-rounded man. And some of those things mentioned about stubbornness, you can say that's the dark side of masculinity, when that persistence becomes spoiled. And for sure, I do want to add and say that when it comes specifically to the act of exuding masculinity, it's not a mask. Can't be a mask. Because masculinity is a force which drives through everything in the entire universe. In the same with masculinity broken down becomes the masculine energy broken down into human application. That's masculinity. You see someone chopping a tree, and you're like, oh, that's bad. He's masculine, right? Well, why is he masculine though? He's just chopping a fucking tree, but it's true, he's masculine. Right? And so that is the energy of positively charged energy translated into human form, human application.
I see. So you're saying like usability of the actual masculine energy is what makes it masculine.
Just using it in general.
Yeah.
Just using it in general is masculine. So what it means, it's almost like the word masculinity comes after the word masculine energy and positively charged energy. And so it also, when you see like a man, can even be a woman, but like when you see somebody and they're in the middle of a storm and they handle that shit so well, right? You're just like, damn, they're brave, right? Or like they just have faith, right? And so to be a man, there is also this calmness. Specifically for being man, there has to be this calmness in like all kinds of situations. It doesn't matter how crazy they get. It has to be very calm, but you could feel that is a flame right there. That is a flame right there. You could be just chilling, just standing, observing and smiling internally. And that right there would be a sexy man. Not because he was showing his body, because he wasn't. Although he could have been, doesn't really matter. But he was sexy because of the way that he was when he was just being himself, his just energy of aliveness, the energy of a father who is taking care of his children, a father who knows everything is going to be okay. And so we bring the archetype of the father in because that is the only way that our brains can really understand it, is the father energy, the energy of our creator, of a creator. And the father depending on literally how your father was, this is going to affect your interpretation of masculine energy. And it's going to affect you because you are going to grow up depending on how your father was in his own masculinity. And that is going to affect you individually, because how safe your father made you feel is how safe you will feel in the real world or in yourself. Through that safety that you create, that is that masculine energy. It's an incredible safety feeling of safety, of safe, like, you know, that is almost like what we truly want from a man. What, like, I would want my bros to be like, if some shit went down, my niggas got me, right? I would definitely want that, you know? And that's why primarily a man who is dangerous, that is sexy. That is, you know, I'm using the word sexy to say that a woman would find that sexually attractive, right? The fighter. Everyone loves fighters. All the women love fighters. It's because it is the thing that make the dangerous man is the man that could keep his family safe. He had to be dangerous. Had to be. And that is that exuding of that masculinity. And it could be even certain tattoos are more masculine than others, you know. Let's say this one is, if you could see it, this one is more feminine than this one. Right? And so they're all like, even the way that you present yourself physically is like going to be how masculine you appear to the world. Right? And now if you want, this is what I noticed, like, I could be more creative, right? And I could even, you know, like I have, you know, some really nice pieces or whatever, and get all, you know, nice with it. That is the more feminine. It's actually, it's less masculine. However, it's still great. That's still great game if you dress, you know, pimp, like if you pimp it up, if you're pimped out with your, you know, some real nice stuff, that is stuff that's still good. But that's not masculinity, right? Masculinity is the fucking wearing the fucking t-shirt, tucking the fucking shirt into the pants, wearing a belt with some jeans, right, and some shoes, and just like army style, like what an army guy like would just be wearing, you know, while he's chilling at home, like that whole, like, I'm prepared to take if shit goes down, essentially is what the outfit says. I'm prepared to go down if shit goes down. When you're niced up in the tuxedo and all that good stuff, you're not ready for when shit goes down, right? And so that in itself just makes it more feminine, right? Feminine energy, yeah. Yeah, how are you guys feeling? I like what I said.
I think you answered my question, man. So if somebody asks you, or they tell you, be a man, or they're telling you in a way that you're not a man, and another word from what I understand is that you don't look dangerous enough. If they're asking you that question, you're not dangerous enough. That's what I understand.
That makes sense. I mean, for what you want, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I'll also say, like, who's asking? You know what I mean? Like, who is telling me that? Like, who is giving me that statement? Like, do they have the qualifications to make that statement towards me? You know, or are they just a random person that I know that just walked up and they're like, just be a man? Or like, I want to get to the intention of what is the problem that they're trying to solve by telling me that. Like, what is it? What is their end outcome of them telling me that? Are they telling me to be more aggressive? Are they telling me that I need to, you know, handle this situation? Are they like, what is the subtext, right, behind that statement? So hey, if it's someone that I want to just give a response to and it's non-committal, I'll just be like, no. Or like, fuck you, you know, like, I'll just be like, I don't need to respond to that, right? But let's say that it's someone that you really care about and you want to describe to them, like, listen, you know, if you want to question my masculinity, like this is some schoolyard kind of insult, or we're having like a lightsaber fight with our dicks or something, like, understand that, you know, contrary to what you may believe, like not every problem can be solved with that statement. You know what I mean? So if you want to give me some actual advice here, I'd really appreciate that, instead of you just saying be a man, because I don't know what to do with that information. That's unhelpful to me. So that would be one way to go about it, Gio. But that's just if you really know the person and you know you're willing to invest and commit to, you know, that relationship, really. But yeah, awesome question, bro.
Bro, for sure. When they're saying be a man, they're saying be a pure expression of masculine energy. That's just what that means, really. Be a pure expression of masculine energy. Be a pure expression of masculine energy. Doesn't stop, moves forward. You know, when someone's being a bitch, they say when someone's being like faggy, it's like that's saying a soft man, right? And like when the people say be a man, they're saying like, yo, like if someone's being a little bitch, like go after it, fuck it, like what's the worst that can happen? Do it, like go into risk it, risk yourself emotionally, risk yourself, you know, was psychologically, I guess. I don't know if I could say that, but like putting yourself at risk, you know, and that's why the most successful men are the ones that take the biggest risks.
Right. And heroic risks, not just like, you know, jumping off a roof like a frat boy into the pool and like breaking your nose type of risk, right?
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, bro. Also, like, nobody tells a woman to woman up. You know what I mean? It's like that's not a term that we use in culture. It's just
We should though. We should.
But yeah, I find that very interesting. I find that duality interesting. But yeah, man. Felix,
Let
you
me comment on. Can I comment on? Yeah, can you guys hear me? Let me comment on that one. Well, like the woman up. Might be just my own observation. However, it occurred to me how women are more of a black hole type of phenomena in this universe, and they will mostly adapt and reciprocate or take everything as much as they can, and they will mirror. They are at effect of a man. So to say to a women up mostly is not necessary, because she will woman up when she gets into a contact with a man who manned up. So in my personal case, I've seen women go from zero to everything in terms of their femininity when they get in contact with a lot of masculinity. So I think it's irrelevant to compare. However, I do agree with that, because I also understand that Rush talks about that a lot. And that's more of a long-term femininity, in a way that for multiple reasons. So one is the example I mentioned is more of a momentary example. So like they will become feminine and very reciprocative, but in that moment when the masculine is there. Well, what happens when the masculine goes away? Then there's no more masculine, and the feminine now goes and tries to become the man, tries to fill the hole and everything, right? So in terms of like women up, it's more of a cultural thing of women staying women when there's no man. And I can only assume that that's as tough as it is to a man staying a man when there's no practical need of staying a man without a feminine woman being there. So I think there's an equal amount of...
bro? Oh my goodness, bro. That's
Yeah.
where you fucked up, bro. I'm gonna tell you that's where you fucked up. Everything was great, bro. I love the all shit you said, but it's more like
But where exactly?
the man should exist for his purpose, not for woman. Right.
Okay, I never said that's the point.
No,
never
no,
said.
it's because you know.
Okay, but maybe
you said. I'll tell you what you said though. I'll tell you. You said that the woman doesn't. You don't need to be a man if there's no woman around. That's what you said. Right. We all heard that, right?
Can you repeat?
That you said that you don't need to be a man. There's no woman around, and a woman doesn't. Woman doesn't need to.
What I've said, well, maybe it's turned that out. So let me reframe that. What I meant is, I think it's as tough to a woman to stay a feminine woman when there's no masculine energy around, as there is to a man to stay in a masculine energy when there's no feminine energy around. However, and that's probably the only place when we need to say to women up, because otherwise they will do it. Outside of that scenario, they will do it automatically, and there's no need to force that. It's the same way a man will turn more manly when there's a woman around. In the same way, a woman will turn more feminine when there is a man around. And I think it's much tougher to stay in that character for both genders when there's not, when they are in vacuum. So that's what I said in the last sentence, right? It is tough to be a man, like, no joke.
I get what you're saying now, man. I totally get it. And the thing about it is it doesn't even apply to gender. Just like anybody watching you, like, we act differently, you know, when people are watching us than whether we're just being alone by ourselves, you know? So if it directly, like you said, in that vacuum, it's dependent on the watcher, how we're behaving. But if women can find a safety in their femininity, is what you're saying, is like safety in the intuition, in the creativity, in being a woman without a man around, that's the true kind of, I guess, evolution of that feminine energy, right? Because, yeah, a lot of women will have this masculine armoring, right? When they're not around men, they'll try to be tougher, right? They'll try to get through the entrepreneurial women. They'll take on a lot of masculine characteristics to try and survive in that niche, to survive in that world, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but then again, it is taking away from that initial spirit. Just like if a man is working in an environment where he's not allowing himself to explore his masculine potential, like that can be very crippling, right? In a sense where it's like you're not really fully acknowledging the truth of what this thing is, and even exploring that. So I think that, yeah, both genders or energies, if we want to call it that, need that space to explore, because each is like a soil that the other one grows from. So that's why a relationship is like a support system, right? So if one kind of doesn't shine as bright, right, others going to be affected, just like, you know, the sunlight gets affected by the moonlight and vice versa, you know. So, but yeah, man, that's a great concept. I like that.
So what's up, guys? We chilling. That was like a good genius days. William, what's up, man? Nice to meet you, bro. Are you you know Sumed? How'd you hear about Genius Days?
It was actually you. I was the one that messaged you. I think it was like yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. You don't have a profile picture.
Yeah.
This what's up, bro. William's coming in from Illinois, kind of going through a spiritual awakening. And,
Oh yeah.
and as we all are, really, you know, to be honest, all of us are really going through it at our own levels. And but yeah, man, I'm glad to have you here, bro. If you have any questions, dude, like we like questions.
Yeah. Well, I'm usually the curveball. Anywhere I go, I usually offer a lot of different ideas that are sometimes not always thought of. The one thing, like about me, because I know, because this is all spiritual, based, and so there's the law of polarity where everything's sort of on a spectrum, rather than it just being like, good and evil. It's good and evil, and then there's a whole spectrum in between. So like for me, with this masculinity idea, because I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I'm a homosexual, like I'm into men. So the one thing I've been trying to understand about myself is like, did one of my like was my previous past life, like was I embodied in a female body, and that kind of carried over into this current life right now. So that could be a reason why, I tend to like men in this this current life. Or
So what it look is very that's actually very simple. I actually decoded this a while back.
Okay.
And it was that I looked at like what is it? It's like men, I want a woman because she has femininity. And the woman says, I want a man because he has masculinity. And I think in essence, it's sort of like saying like you're looking for masculinity. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I would say so. And that's why I always question, like, is my like, which is my, so does that mean that my feminine like energies are higher than my, masculine? And are they supposed to be in balance with each other, or is one going to be stronger than the other? Like always.
They change, like,
Okay.
from, when you're a baby, you would say you're more in the feminine because you're not in control. That's kind of what it is. But then, the act of like control is more masculine.
Yeah.
Right? And then like, going from there, we can have, they can be different. They can be different for sure. I mean, but at the end, it's just kind of like, what do you want to experience? That's really it. What do you want to experience in? And you can experience anything. You can experience anything, and so like be okay with experiencing, and like you don't have to even label yourself anything.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can just be like,
I just do it for the purpose of I guess like man-made like ideas, and then I can branch off, further. But depending, because I don't know, like if I don't know my audience and how they think, I just kind of throw it out there first so that you get the idea, like kind of what I'm thinking, and then kind of branch off from there. And I'm trying to get away from titles, because I don't think, even in like the form of the soul and the spirit, there's not, it's energy. It's not like, this is like, it's got a specific name and such and such. It's just energy,
I mean, I could tell you why I like women. I like women because they're soft. I like women because they heal me. I like women because the sex just feels right. I love my girl because she is the opposite energy of me. She's the complete opposite of energy of me. But we still resonate. It's the still high vibrational version of me. And her softness and just her love, the love that she gives me, the care that she gives me. Oh, man. It is just like it is like being rubbed, like just like flowers, like are just like being like touched on my face, and that's why I feel. That's how I feel. You know, that's why I like women.
That's how I feel like for like, you know, if because I'm very selective, you know, based on my past experiences of like going forward of who I would, you know, actually how do you say interact with, and to look for someone that is a possible like, you know, person that's going to be there in my life in the future, that, you know, like I'm like the caretaker. I'm the, like, you know, we're talking about the feminine energy, the one that, you know, wants to be the healing, the, you know, like I want to take care of that person. And I guess I'm looking for that masculine energy that, you know, it's kind of like the doer, the action, the sort of like the powerhouse protector kind of entity.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Go ahead, Zoom.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, you know, we look at these polarities or these dualities, and sometimes we see them as separate or like contradictory, but I think they're complementary, right? Because the yin yang is this dance that's constantly happening. So you are in response to that relationship or that counterpart. So yeah, if you are looking for a more masculine, like leader figure in that sense, I guess you're going to have to activate more of that tenderness, right? You have to activate more of that tenderness if you're gonna, because again, it's like we look for ourselves in other people, right? As Ivan was saying, it's like maybe you want to access that masculinity within your own daily rituals or other things, and so we look for it in other people. There's this amazing theory called Imago Theory, which states that we're attracted to people who unconsciously trigger our childhood wounds because our subconscious mind wants us to heal that part of ourselves. And so it's out like the specific kinds of people that, you know, that will close that loop in a sense for us. So there's a lot of different theories out there and things about relationships that like give us more clarity in terms of what to do with that information. Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Okay, thank you. And like the feminine energies are because I've seen some like different memes. I read some things, and it like kind of came down to something about like the feminine energies sort of, I guess, surrendering to the masculine energies. Not totally, I guess, like not like a slave type of surrendering, but I guess maybe like, is it like a vulnerability type of entity with that surrendering to the masculine?
William, have you ever read the Surrender Experiment?
I have not, no.
Yeah, I highly recommend that to get that understanding of surrender. Or yeah, that would be your next step, I think, is to definitely look into that book, because yeah, surrendering is different from giving up or vulnerability or any of these words, right? It's a thing by itself that is, yeah, that would just be my advice, is to look into that book. I don't have a specific definition for it. Unless you do, Ivan, do you have a definition for surrender?
Yeah. To explode in, you know.
So to implode.
like you know, the act of doing is to explode out, right? Surrender is to explode in, and it's because you're feeling how energy comes in through your body in the inside. It's an internal experience. That's just how it is, like, you know. But I mean, you know, like gay man or not, bro, always got to be a fucking strong man. Like, you got to be able to handle your own shit. You know, you got to be able to be strong too. if you have to, because like, let's just say, even my mom, right? Recently, she's had to work. She's tapping into her masculine, and she's going in. She's going in. She's bossed it up. She's bossed up. She's a little tiny ass woman, bro, telling these 6 foot ass monsters what to do, bro. You know, she's bossed up, so she taps into her masculine too, right? You know, and so it's like you got to be good in both of your energies, but just like whatever you choose, your life you choose to experience that, you know. Whatever life you choose to experience, just choose to experience it, right? And you can always change that or adjust that or upgrade it or evolve it at any given time. It's a continuous evolution of life. You dig?
Yeah, I feel you.
Awesome, guys. So we're wrapping up. Thank you so much for being a part of this, guys. I really appreciate it. We do this every Sunday. Check out the other episodes for sure. And yeah, may you never be the same again. Us.
Yo, thanks for pulling up.